Let's get to how did Phantom X catch this entries, right? Okay, so when we are looking at Nasdaq, we can see that we once had a free fall around about, I think it was around about 24.59, whereby we had a retrace point. And remember, retrace points are very important because this is how we identify our buy signals. Reversal points, normally we use them to get our sell signals. So when we're looking at this point here, this made sense because NAS 100 around 22nd of October, it did bounce at this point. And when it happened again on the 7th of November, it did bounce again. So which means this was a clear buy, but if you didn't understand or if you do not understand how to spot or support your retrace point and reversal point, it might have been tricky, but this was a clear entry. And always use a bigger time frame to catch these entries for, if you want to go for a week or two in the market. So as you can see, I'm using the H4 just to analyze and see where Nasdaq is going. So we want to investigate this point that is here, right? So I'm going to just go to a smaller time frame. Remember, we use small time frame to identify entries. I use small time frame to identify entries. I use bigger time frame to see where the market is going, the bigger picture of a symbol. So each and every time, always use a bigger time frame to analyze the market. Use a small time frame to look for entries. So we are going to check this entry here. Like I said, it is this point here. So let's just get to M15, let's get to M15. So we can just investigate how the robot was able to spot on this signal. Okay, so if you're on your M15, you will see that this is the point here. But mind you, most of the time, what the robot does will look for these opportunities. So it knows if the market wants retraced at this point, there's a high chance that if it comes back again, it will still retrace. So when we're looking at this gap here, it didn't fill up this gap. So how did the robot able to still execute buy signals at this point? So sometimes we get to look at how many times the market has been bouncing at one place. So in this case, you can see that it bounced more than 5 times. And if we go and investigate why was this pair bouncing at this point? Why was Nasdaq keep on bouncing at this point? If we look at this rectangular line here, we can see that there was noise here. We had some reversal point of which it failed to come and fill up this gap. And most of the time, like I said, if it doesn't come to this point, the robot will look for clues as to can we really retrace at this point. So in this case, indeed it did, but most of the time we always look for perfect entries whereby we're hoping the market will just fall to this, give us a market sweep, then from there go all the way up, keep on playing up and down. So in this case, we can see we're unable to fill up this gap. But like I said, you'll notice that most of the time, if this happens, you have to look for clues if you're trading manual. So hence, the robot was able to spot on that in this case here, we are going to keep on going up. And our last take profit that we normally target will be, just try to just zoom this thing out. So our last target TP will be, let's just get to a bigger time frame. Let's try 1 hour. Okay, so our last target will be at this point here. At this point here. So we hoping that Nasdaq, if it gets to this point, it might want to bounce again. But currently you can see it is giving us entries. So normally if you go to a small time frame, you might be able to still enter the market at this point. Right? Okay, let's just remove this. So this is the entry at hand. Let me try and get a circle. So this is the entry at point that we are talking about in this case. So this is where the robot was able to see that here we are actually retracing and give us a buy signal. And it does this on a daily basis.